So if I give you 1, you still have to find 2 more. When you get down to a square, a quadratic, you can either factor, complete the square, or use your quadratic formula. Or, if possible, if you saw another 0, you could still synthetically divide to get to the last one. My goal is for you to do this algebraically. Algebraically usually means factors, set your factors to 0. You can't factor this to start with. So synthetic division is a way to find all your zeros in algebraically. So when we start this, we pull out your regular synthetic division. Make sure you have a space holder. One clue that gives this away is if I give you a 0, and this does not come out to 0 for a remainder, then that's not a factor. It's not a root of your equation. Same thing when I said to you yesterday, if I divide 100 divided by 5, I get 20, no remainder, 0 remainder, that's a factor. If I divide 101 divided by 5, I get a remainder, that's not a factor. So those are the things that I need to look for. Okay. So those are things that I want you to make sure that you pay attention to. Synthetic division, was everybody able to get up to here? Okay? Now, 2 choices. You're doing quadratic. We can factor your quadratic. This one's nice to factor. I factored it, set them equal to 0, found the other zeros. Or, look in your table, -4 was a 0, and maybe you found -2 to be a 0. Take this here, and don't even write this, just continue it down. Just continue down and do another one with -2. Drop it down. -2 times 1, -2. We did one of these yesterday all the way through. This will give you -6. A negative times a negative. Positive. Yep, I expect a 0. Now, if one of my roots brought me from x3 to x2, the other root brings me from x2 to x1. This is x1 minus 6. This is a factor. Set it equal to 0, and x is equal to 6.
You don't have to do that, right?
No, you have 2 choices. At this point, you could go this way, or you could go that way. Only because you were able to see the rest of the zeros in your calculator. So algebraically, this is the way you show me algebraically your zeros. In your graph, you can just pull it up and look at your table. Graphically, you don't have to do anything because you found them, you know what your zeros. But to show me algebraically, you know how before algebraically you had a factor and set the 0, you can't factor these. So therefore we pull out the zeros with synthetic division. And we can keep doing it. Are we okay with this? Okay. Those of you that weren't here yesterday, kind of seeing this? The day before we did your synthetic division. We got down to just divide it, whether it had a remainder or not. That's all we did was one step. Yesterday, what we did was, we took a 0 from your equation, we divided through, and we can come out with something that's, if it's factorable, we can factor it, or we can synthetically divide another 0 to get all your zeros out of it. It's not as simple as like the quiz you took, where I say find me your zeros and you factored out an x and you did your trinomial. These aren't as easy to factor, so we use synthetic division to get your zeros out. All right, we'll do a couple more. Do them with me. If you weren't here, make sure you're understanding the path that we take. Okay, now this one. I give you a root, a 0. It's 1/2. That's what's going right here. Pull out all your coefficients. Watch the negative signs. Synthetically divide. Now, when you get down to this point, there's 2 things. If I could look in my calculator, and I found that 1/2 was there, I also noticed that 2 was there, and 5 was there as a 0. So, to show, maybe I just start here to -14, 20, and take out a 5. So, bring down a 2. This will give me 10. Bring down to negative 4. This will give you negative 20. And yeah, I know this was going to be 0. So 2x minus 4 equals 0. And x is going to be equal to 2. That shows me all my zeros. Algebraically, I found all my zeros. Could I, at this point, factor it? Yes. Easiest way, divide it by 2. You're only looking for the zeros. That's where it crosses the x-axis. And isn't that a little bit more factorable when it's in this format? Factor. And sometimes it's not, it's not worth to go through another synthetic division. It depends. I happen to like the synthetic part rather than factoring, and a lot of kids like that rather than factoring. So you can if you can spot your zeros in your calculator. So all of you have this on your paper. So if I said close your books and take a quiz now, all of you would get this right.
No. This part, we had this next part? No. Yeah.
This
I
part.
can do this, I just can't do the one when we are in class.
Oh, okay.
I did that and I failed ethically.
Okay. So again, I gave you a root. It's a fraction. Everybody okay with this? Started out with having 3. You got down to your x squared. That's kind of messy there, but you can divide by 3, if that helps. You can do your a times c. You could even, and I pulled this one up to show the kids, you can find all these in your calculator. Let me pull this one up on your calculator. I know you hate fractions, but it's really not that bad. Let's put this in your calculator. And for those of you that struggle finding the zeros, this is a good one to put in. This is number 50. So put this in your calculator and work this with me.
Wait, there's more. Are you doing 50?
50. Okay. I'm just doing Zoom 6 right now. All we care about is where it crosses the x-axis. All I'm looking for is your zeros.
It was plus 41, then what was the rest?
Did I mess this up?
No, I just...
No,
I
it
thought
is.
it got it.
48x cubed minus 80x squared plus 41x minus 6.
Okay.
Now,
Oh, wait.
And you didn't do it?
Alright.
I did a Zoom 6.
Are you sure?
And we should see 3. It's kind of difficult for me to see 3 there because it's all kind of crunched together. So why don't we just go change our window so that all we look at is this little piece right here. All I care about is your x-axis. Right here, your zeros. So let's change your window. I don't need all this. I don't need all that. Let's go -2 to -2. We can even go -1 to -1. All we need to do is get real close to that x-axis. So now I should be able to see it a little bit better. Can I see 3? Almost. I can almost see 3, right? Do you see this one dip down over here?
Yeah.
That's not a tick mark. That's part of your graph. It's just that your calculator can't go any closer. If you want to get a little closer, go -1 to -1. And -1 to 1.
It didn't work the best.
Is it -1 didn't work?
Not really, because this is what you get.
Oh, see, yours expands. Oh, yeah. What did I do wrong?
Scale the Y.
Maybe we could do 1.5.
The X was good.
Okay.
That's an error.
All right. So can you see it dipping down now?
I didn't
See it dipping down? Do you see 3 places that it crosses? Whenever it's close in that x-axis, all you care about is this little piece of x-axis. Make your y go -1 to +1. Make your x only zoom in on where you need it to be. Now, if I didn't give you any, you'd have to find one of these. So, excuse me, I've been talking so much all day. Second, trace. Let's do a zeros. Let's find this guy right here, the left one. So it's already left bound at the 0. I'm going to move it to the right of this 0. Don't forget, this topic says find me the exact zeros, your real exact ones. I don't want any, I need everything answered in radicals. I don't want any three decimal numbers. I need everything exactly. So let me see if we can identify this guy. So can I figure out this one? It is a terminating decimal. What is 0.25 in a fraction? 1/4. So now you just found another zero. I gave you 2/3, which is probably this one. You can find this one. You can even find this one over here. That would be 0.75. You can convert it. So now you're able to find another one. So if you didn't want to factor this, take this out of here. Just leave this here and do this again with your 1/4. Bring this down. 1/4 of 48, 12. Bring it down. 36. 1/4 of 36. Oops, negative 36. Negative 9. It's got to come out to be a 0. So here's your 48x minus 36 equals 0. There's your other one. Add 36 and divide by 48. There's your 3/4. So you can find these. They're there. The only problem you're going to have is if it comes out to be an irrational number. If it comes out irrational and I want the exact zeros, you're going to have to use your quadratic formula.
My calc ain't working right.
Why?
That was like an off.
It's like going like weird. I put in the right equation. Oh yes we do, eh? Sorry. Okay.
I think this has got to be in more.
It's right.
48 cubed minus 80x squared is 41x. Are all those minuses plus 41x?
Yeah, it's minus 80x.
Are those all minuses, not negatives?
Yeah.
How about just clear it and put it back in again?
Um,
Sometimes something weird goes on there. Okay, are we all okay with this, right? So we're going to do this without looking at anything else. Let's pretend this is your new problem. So let's put this in your calculator. Everybody pick up your calculator and put this in. Of course you're using X, not a Z.
I was about to say, where's the Z?
Alpha 2. There you go, there's a Z.
Okay. Now I graphed what we had before, the negative 1 to 1, so I'm just going to put a zoom 6.
Wait, why do I have box this shit?
What do you have? What?
Just like box this shit.
Oh, let me see the back of that.
No, like I have the right graph. Just little box.
Trust me, I'm an engineer.
Do you see what I'm saying? No,
Okay.
it's the right graph.
Now, this one should have 4 zeros. How many do you see that are real? You see those. So 2 must be imaginary. We really just care about your real ones. Now, I didn't give you anything to start with. So the first thing you want to do is go to your table and see if you can spot a 0. See if y is 0. So which ones are your real zeros right now? Negative 1 and 2. So therefore, when we start this, we could either start when x is negative 1 or x is 2. And since we have to the 4th, we're going to have to do this 2 times. So let's start like this. Pull out your coefficients. 1, -1, and what?
0.
0. Good, because there's no x squared.
-2,
-2,
-4.
-4. What should we divide by?
Whoa. 1.
-1, okay? Either one of these is fine. I'm just pretend that's not there. I'm
Wait,
just
where did
working
you get
it.
those again?
We found it in your calculator, in your table.
Oh, on the
They were your
zeros?
real zeros.
Oh.
So now bring the 1 down. What is 1 times -1?
1.
-1. Add it down.
-2.
So what is -1 times -2?
2.
2. Add it down.
2.
-1 times 2.
-2.
Add it down.
-4.
What is a negative times a negative? Positive. And this we knew had to become 0.
8.
Now, you're at x cubed. You took 1 away. You still can't factor. So find that other 0 and synthetically divide it again. Divide by the 2. This will go from x4 to x3 to x2. And we should be able to factor. So what's 1 times 2?
2.
2. Add it down.
0?
0. 2 times 0.
0.
Add it down.
2.
2 times 2.
4.
And
0.
0. Now, we went from an x4 to an x3 to an x2. Everybody see the pattern?
Go down.
But now we're okay with x2. So 1x2 plus 0x plus 2. This is our factor. X squared plus 2. Can we factor or resolve something that's a square? Yeah, we can. X is equal to 0. This is your non-real root though. Subtract 2. You get x squared is equal to -2. When you take the square root, this is your plus or minus I radical 2. These are not real. Those are imaginary. So since we asked for all the real zeros, which ones are the real zeros?
-1.
-1 and 2.
Would we have to show the imaginary ones?
Well, once you get here, that's not so bad. That's the only thing we're doing with imaginary. We're not adding, subtracting, multiplying, doing anything else. We're just showing them as an imaginary root. Okay. Because that's all we need to identify it as 2 real, 2 imaginaries. Alright. Alright, I want everybody. So tomorrow we're going to go through the rest of these,
Right.
and then I'm going to give you a review in class. But guys,
Yes.
make sure when you look for your real zeros that you're not giving me decimals. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to find your real irrational ones, and you're going to end up giving me a decimal. None of this will work. You need to break your real zeros down and factor when you can. And make sure all